And it wasn't actually propaganda, it was real. And you can look up the pictures on the internet if you want. So we thought it would be interesting to take a look at a contemporary, modern day, 2024 Russian grocery store 2 years into sanctions. Here we go. All right, there we go. So I guess you put in 10 rubles here and you get it back when you put the cart back. So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment. Okay, this is the grocery cart escalator. This is designed, I'm figuring this out now, where the wheels don't move, they lock on the grocery cart escalator. Look, Ma, no hands. Retail placement here is a little bit different. So it's like walking through Macy's to get to Whole Foods. Okay, we've gotten through the perfume section to get to the grocery store. So we're gonna try and buy what a family of 4 would buy every week, and we're gonna see what the selection is, and we're gonna see what it costs. Now, Russia is famous for its bread, which is one thing I can assess pretty well. The low-carb lifestyle has not swept Russia. Thank heaven, because I mean, look at that. It's fresh, too. Look at that. Oh, come on. Unicorn and mini mills. All right. Some kind of Russian wheat cookies. Ooh, we need coffee, don't we? Yeah. I don't know if this is sugar or flour, to be honest with you, but it looks like a staple, so we should get it. It's a very good looking package. It's gotta be flour, right? And this is Russian wine. It's from Crimea, which not only has the warm water naval base, but also is the source of most of the grapes in this part of Russia for wine. So it's apparently pretty good. Cheese puffs. You check out of a grocery store and you've got gum, razor blades, and candy. Actually, they hide the razor blades because we steal them. But these are all, seem to be Western products. Mars, Twix, Snickers, Milky Way, Bounty, Gillette, Paul's Cough Drops, Mentos. It's pretty non-sanctioned to me, but what do I know? I went from amused to legitimately angry.
Food in Russia is cheaper than food in the United States of America. Just check this list yourself. Compare and judge, maybe I'm wrong. Plus, Tucker Carlson was there himself and said Russia food is cheap. This is a shock for me. I thought Uncle Sam food is cheaper, but is the other way around. America have potential, but they are too proud because they have the strongest military and are on top of the food chain.
So we were guessing what this would cost. Everybody hears from the United States buys groceries, and we didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around 400 bucks, about 400 bucks. It was $104 US here. And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought, corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway, radicalized. We're not making any of this up, by the way, at all. When we came to Moscow, is what's been the effect, the actual effect on the ground, as they say, of Western sanctions on Russia? Now, Russia's the biggest country in the world. Huge parts of Russia are fundamentally Russian, not a lot of Western influence. They were that way 500 years ago. They'll be that way 500 years from now. But Moscow is very different. Moscow is the biggest city in Europe, actually, 13 million people, by far the biggest city in this country, and a very international city, a fashion center, financial center, and Russia's, needless to say, center of Western retail culture. And all of that ended in 2022, 2 years ago. So we thought we would take a look at what happened next. And McDonald's seemed like a pretty good way to do it.
McDonald's, the first McDonald's, opened in Russia in Pushkin Square in Moscow in 1990. And by happenstance, my own father was there. He was an employee of the U.S. government, and he came to Russia to see McDonald's open. And at the time, I remember it vividly, I was in college, this was considered a triumph of the West over the East. The real end of the Cold War is when McDonald's, the most famous retail outlet in the United States, opened in the capital city of our great enemy, Russia. And this was a triumph of the West and its values over communism. So that life cycle turned out to last for exactly 30 years, from 1990 to 2022, and then it closed. But what happened? Well, it never really closed, it just became Russian. McDonald's franchises in Moscow were bought by a Russian businessman out of Siberia and renamed, a Russian name that we can't possibly pronounce, but that translates to tasty, that's it. And the buildings look the same from the outside, the golden arches are dimmed, but apparently not much else is different. So we've come here this morning in downtown Moscow to try the fare at Tasty That's It and render judgment. And we're going to do that right now.
I must say, I feel good in this weather. I ordered, I'm embarrassed, I ordered a cheeseburger, I ordered 2 cheeseburgers, large Coke, large fries, and a chocolate cake. We're back in the van. We've just come back from the Ersatz Moscow McDonald's. Tasty, that's it. And first the price, okay? Now I'll admit, I have not been to a fast food place in quite some time, trying to preserve my girlish figure. Also doesn't make me feel good, and I'm 54, so you probably shouldn't be eating that crap. So I'm not exactly current on the prices, but here's what it cost in Moscow. 647 rubles. So that is exactly $7.05, I think. And for that, we got 2 cheeseburgers, large fries, large cola, Coke knockoff, and a piece of chocolate cake.